Hallo Schwesterhochfu.
Hallo.
Willkommen bei uns.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you forgive me for my English now. I know that as Germans you speak excellent English.
We will see.
Tell us, please introduce yourselves. We know that hoch fünf, most people will know fünf means 5 in German. And there are 4 people on the screen. So explain a little bit about yourselves and tell us about your 5th member.
Yes, we are Schwesterhochfu, so it means we are sisters, real sisters, and we are 5. And the youngest one is missing today because she got a new baby and it was too difficult for her to come here. So
Congratulations to her.
yes.
That is Monica. Monica?
Yes, Monica has little Frederick.
Ah, sure. Who is, so introduce yourself. Let's know who you are. Yeah.
I'll start. So I'm Maria. I'm the middle one. So 2 sisters above me and 2 underneath. So and yes, I'm an alto, first alto in the ensemble. Yeah, I'm living in a little town in southern Germany with my family. Yeah, that's me.
Nice to meet you.
I am Frenzy or Franziska, but I like it to be called Frenzy. And I live here in this flat here in Würzburg. I am the not the youngest, but the second one in the.
The second one up in the tree.
Is the youngest.
Okay.
And yeah, I have, you can see it here. I have 2 little boys who made these nice paintings and teach at primary school. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Frenzy.
Yeah, and I'm Agnes. I'm the eldest one of us 5 sisters, and in the ensemble I'm the second soprano. And yeah, I live near Stuttgart. That's also in the south of Germany, about 2 hours from here. And yeah, I live there with my family. And today I'm here and I'm very pleased to speak to you. And yeah, thanks for that.
Nice to meet you too, Agnes. And finally.
Yes, I'm Cordula. And I'm the deepest alto and the second sister. And living in Bamberg, that's our base town because our parents are living there. As we all are no professionals, I'm a biology and chemistry teacher, and I love to sing with my sisters.
Yeah. Being a sibling group, being all sisters, I mean, 5 all sisters is you know, there are not many 5 sisters around, never mind 5 sisters who sing together, who found a love of singing and continued and have been still singing together for as many years. When you started out at the Mädchenkantorei, that's the girls' choir in Bamberg Cathedral. Tell us a little bit about the system there, and because these musical starts are so important, aren't they, for our singing? Tell us a little bit how things work at Bamberg Cathedral.
Yeah, in Bamberg, it's an old cathedral, and of course there's a traditional boys' choir located, and I think it was 1990 when the girls' choir was founded as well, and some years later, our family moved to Bamberg, and I was then, I think, 15 years old, and then first joined a choir to sing in, and all the other girls too. And yeah, that's where we learned the choral singing. In the family, of course, we also sang a lot, but this choral singing we've learned in the girls' choir in Bamberg.
Yeah. Well, you might know how our cathedral singing is set up in England, and we have traditional boys' choirs, just like the Domspatzen choirs throughout throughout Germany. And yes, it was around about the same time, 1990, I think, they decided that cathedrals, well, boys were doing a lot of work during the week, almost singing every day and many times at the weekend. So they introduced as a kind of equal opportunities, opportunity for girls. So many cathedrals now have two choirs. They have a girls' choir and a boys' choir. It's usually the same altos, tenors, and basses who are singing in the back row. But and now some of our cathedrals have started to offer very equal opportunities, and the same choir has both boys and girls. And some of our purists complain about this because it's the different sound. But it's actually, if we're very honest, especially in the younger ages, it's very difficult to often hear the difference between the girl and the boy's voice, certainly when they're trained in cathedrals. But so you learned all your musical expertise as choristers. So what made you, and you founded back in 2004 as the Schwesterhochfu. Tell us about the title Schwesterhochfu, because my German antennae tell me this is one of those very famous compound nouns, like Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, which tastes better than it reads.
It's the same as us. It tastes better, maybe.
It listens better. So Schwesterhochfu, is it right that this is the High Five Sisters?
Yes.
It's
wow.
a mathematical pronunciation. Like, it's just a little bit a joke that you can write Schwester and just write 5 in the higher 5 higher.
Nice. Okay, great.
The idea was, it's not only 5 plus sister plus sister plus sister, but it's to the power of 5. It's much more than the sum of 5.
Oh, I like that. I know, because I knew, you being a German group, they wouldn't just be the comic element to your name. They would be a high intellectual ideal. So you founded in 2004, and you started to do concerts together. And tell us about the repertoire you sing.
Actually, we started with sacred music because of our cathedral choir. This was very used to. Our concert was just sacred music, early music. We like the combination of very early music and modern, contemporary music. And this was the beginning, I think, yes, in the first concert. And the first concert, it was really nice because we started with this idea and said, let's make a small concert in a church in Bamberg. And then the church was full of people. There were so many people coming to hear us. And we were like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're just unknown. Nobody knows us before. But I think they like this sisters. It's the siblings, like combined to the music. Yes.
Yeah, it's so unusual that it's such a unique, as we say these days, a unique selling point. You are all from the same pod, the same peas from the same pod. And that helps with your sound, surely. It helps with every other group is working very hard to make their sounds fit together. And I've worked with some small groups, trios in Leipzig at the competition there. When I was working in a workshop, some very small groups with sisters where their voices are blending, and then the person who's not a sister has to really work hard to make the same sound as the people who are related. Do you find it easy? Do your sounds, or do you have to work at making your sounds blend?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Was the first initial idea for our ensemble, because it was in 2003 our grandmother died, and there was a funeral, a service in the church, and 3 of us sisters were singing a motet written by Schütz, and they were standing in the back of the church on the second floor near the organ. So the parish couldn't see us, but only hear us. And it was our father who said after the service, "Oh, who of you was singing? Was it you or you? I couldn't say who it was because the voices are so similar. And that was for us, okay, that's very unique that we are singing and we have the same genetic material and the voices are that similar. And then it was Cordula who said, okay, let's start with a vocal group and make a concert. And that was the first concert. Was just a few songs we knew from the girls' choir, and we sang in a church in Bamberg, and we had a nice poster with a photo of us 5. We had a very funny photo shooting in the living room at our parents'. And a lot of people came and they said, oh, go on, it's fantastic. And so we were really motivated to sing together. And we knew it from our singing in other choirs that you have to work hard to get a sound all together so that no voice is heard as a single voice, but you have to create this sound, and that's more easy in our
and I love this idea that there was no kind of grand plan to become this professional group and to have a strategy to that. It just evolved, and it reminds me of the very early days of the Kingsingers, where they were just 6 friends from a choir who liked to sing together, usually after dinners and making a little bit of extra beer money and all that sort of thing. And that they did, when they did their first concert together, they just sang everything they knew. So they sang kind of chapel music or church cathedral music, as you said. So William Byrd and composers like that. And then threw in a few kind of barbershop Yale songbook type arrangements to give the audience a little bit of fun at the end. And little did they know that became kind of the trademark for what, going on 50 years. So hugely successful accident. But sometimes the best things are. And when you overplan things, it doesn't always work out. So you've also dabbled a little bit, had a go with the competition world. So tell us a little bit like that. I know you've had success in the Bavarian choir competition and the German choir competition back in 2009. Was that scary to suddenly put yourself up to be judged?
It was a very important experience for us because till this time, everybody said, "Oh, yeah, you are so wonderful because you have this family bonus," and for us it was very important. There is a judge who does not look at these faces, but only to our voices, and we were surprised. That we had this success in the competition.
And that's great. You got a first prize in the Bavarian competition, and that's quite a nice thing to be able to print, isn't it? We are prize winners of this and this, and it's nice to have that encouragement.
Yes, and factually, actually, we met in this competition in the jury. There was Claudia from Singapore, from the vocal ensemble Singapore, and we met her first there. And now Singapore ensemble is our very friend. They are all our friends because there was a friendship starting. And so this is really important to see the other ensembles and to be in the family of the vocal ensembles. And it was the first competition in Germany where the vocal ensembles were one category, and it was the first time. So
and I'm right in saying that Singapore themselves, they have their roots back originally to Regensburg, Domspatzen, and I know because when they first started out, Singapore in the very early days. They came for workshops and help with the King Singers. So it's a lovely circle of life, circle of a cappella life, isn't it? Often our threads are very delicately and sometimes not so clearly woven, and the help and the inspiration they may have given you might have come from certainly from us through them, and very interesting. Tell us a little bit. Now, you had a 15th anniversary concert, and I watched footage of this concert, and it's such a beautiful setting. Tell us a little. It is the most wonderful, and it looks a little bit familiar, and I'm thinking, did I do a concert there? I'm not sure if I did, but it's so beautiful. And tell us a little bit about the place, and do you sing there often, etc., etc.?
It was Schloss Seehof. It's a castle, no?
Yeah.
Near of Bamberg, and it's a very common concert location. And we sang there twice, I think, only twice. But the first was per accident. I think it was. I think it was the time when we, in the beginnings, we always sang sacred music, and then we started to sing folk songs and so on. And it was difficult to find a church to present this not sacred music there.
Sure.
So we have to find a location for this, and we found this castle, and it was very, very nice the first time, and then we decided for the anniversary concert to do this.
I'm right in thinking it's an orangery.
Yes.
It's the place they grow oranges, or did historically.
Yes.
And that fantastic window is a wonderful backdrop.
Yes.
I mean, usually windows behind artists are quite scary because there's light coming through and you can't always focus, but the visual of you singing there is so perfect. Tell me,
the sun was going down in our backs. It was for the audition.
Lovely. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this piece you sang. Excuse my pronunciation. Gitam or Gitam? Gitam? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
It's funny because it's our favorite song, and maybe it's yours.
It's an Indian words. It's Sanskrit, and it means Gesang, singing. It's translated singing. And we like the composer as well. Eno Heminiemi, it's a Finnish composer. We asked him already to arrange something new for us because we like his arrangement a lot.
Yeah.
And we are in contact with him for a new song.
Nice.
Yes, because it's really it's like we normally don't do those fast music, or like we are not so familiar with this pop songs or stuff like this. We more like the ernsthaft,
serious
themes.
Ernsthaft is a very good word. It's a very German word, I think.
Yeah, but we are German and we are ernsthaft. And, we laugh a lot, but in concert we like this. We like the ernsthafte Stimmung.
It's always difficult. Certainly having sung with a all male group, and singing a cappella, it's always difficult to give variety and color within a concert, especially if your concert's lasting 2 hours. If you only go for 20 minutes and, just give a group, that's okay, but it's quite difficult, isn't it? And I found with an all-male group, to keep the sound changing and to keep the audience interested musically and the pace and but this is something you think a lot about, obviously, and
yeah, I think we have to think about that much more than a male ensemble, because our range of frequencies is just smaller than for men. Yeah. So it's difficult sometimes, and we had some concerts. We had our brother. There are 2 brothers too in our family, and one of these brothers is singing, and sometimes we invite him to sing with us, just for the audience to have a little bass variation.
Yeah. I particularly love, which is a completely different scenario. It's filmed in a church. There's a wonderful video of you singing that Maria Durchheim Dornwald ging, and that's a fantastic arrangement. It really surprised me, the width, the range you're required to singing that piece. And I always thought of it as a very beautiful pastoral tune, but it has such depth and, can I say, angst? A little bit. There is a little bit of the tension in this, and it's a fantastic arrangement. And I'm sure we will be featuring it a bit. Can you tell me a little bit about that and that recording as well?
I think it's Buchenberg.
Yes.
We have a lot. Yeah, we have some for Maria Durchheim Dornwald ging. We have like 3 arrangements or more. I think you are talking about the Buchenberg.
It has a very wide range, and I think one of you was expecting a baby.
Yes, it was. It's me. No.
Mary. All of us.
Or one of you had a very big lunch.
I think it was me. Yeah, and this we have a special thing for us are these Advent songs. We very much like them, and I think it's also that, or you can hear that these Advent songs are very deeply in us, and we very much like to sing them, because in our childhood every Advent we had this setting in the living room that we met in the dark room and sitting around this Advent wreath, and just the candles were burning, and then our parents sang with us these very, very old songs, and they are also very serious, ernsthaft, and and so deep inside, and and it was a very special situation, to sing, and we every time we sang by heart. We didn't need notes or something, and sheets. That's why we very much like to sing these songs in concerts, and we also recorded a CD with just these songs, and everyone in the audience, we often they said us afterwards, oh, we not hear only the music, but that it comes from your heart. And
within the group, is someone giving some arrangements, or are you always bringing arrangements into the group, or how does it work?
Unfortunately, none of us is able to arrange music, because we are all not professional. So we always have to look after arrangements, or just ask composers to do it. That's it would be nice when someone.
Yeah, you have 3 CDs. One is a spiritual CD, modern and Renaissance, and there is an Advent CD, and there's I'm doing really, and there is also a music of the night, night song. Yeah. Oh, they're all there. Yeah, push them a bit closer and we'll take a picture. Fantastic. That's great. Oh, I'm so glad you had them there. And they're lovely photos. Very, very professional. Tell me a little bit about the last 18 months, about lockdown, how it affected you. Presumably concerts had to pause. You were part of your own bubble as sisters. Could you sing together? Tell us a little bit.
Due to the fact that we are not living at one town, so we couldn't meet like other people. Yeah, it was not family, so it was hard that we couldn't meet. And we made an interesting experience. We decided we had in the Easter week 2020. We had in our calendar it's our rehearsal week, and it was not allowed to come together, and so we decided to take our sheets at home and study it for ourselves, and we made the experience that it's a very good idea.
It works to prefer before the rehearsal, to prepare
to prepare. It's always a good idea. It saves time.
It's Corona.
So I know that Germany is at this present time is looking quite optimistic in it, how things are going. Unfortunately, here in England, it looks like we are starting a third wave, even though we have fantastic vaccination program, and so we're not sure what will happen with our music in the next months. But I know that my friends in Leipzig, in Ammerchord, are starting to look optimistically forward, and I know the Thomaner Chor in Leipzig has been making some performances this last days. Do you have plans for some concerts in the summer and beyond? Tell us a little bit about that before we close.
I think we have just in July one service in Stuttgart to sing. It's in 4 weeks, and then we have a summer rehearsal week in August, and then in September 2 nice summer concerts planned.
Nice. Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but luckily we don't have to earn money about our music, so we're very
fortunate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And
well, I wish you all the best when you get back to giving concerts again. It's so important, live music. And Schwesterhochfu or 4, please send my regards to Monica, and thank you for joining us this morning and sharing a little bit about this very special group you have. And we will be looking you up on the internet, and hopefully people can get to a concert soon.
Hopefully
Agnes?
we can join you at your summer school some.
Oh, that would be really nice. Yes. That would be really nice. Thank you again, and bis zum nächsten Mal. Hoffentlich.
Bye. Bye.